translate إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ?
No problem. The way I have described desire, after that there is no contradiction between this and that. This will go as a prerequisite to the desire of God. If you consider yourself feeding some data into a computer, in the end, the computer comes out with an answer. So this effort of human being or other things happening here will go into that computer of Allah's wisdom. I am using the word computer again because of deficiency of vocabulary with regard to God. So, I mean, it shouldn't be taken literally, but to make you understand, I am using these words. Suppose there is a computer of the wisdom of God, into that so many facts are fed, and each fact is true and correct, whether it pertains to the past or to the present or to the future happenings. So answer in every case would be after taking consideration of all the facts, and that answer would be correct. So when that answer is formed, that becomes the desire of Allah. Before the formation of the desire, so many actors have played their part, among them human beings. So if Allah uses the expression in the Holy Quran that if Allah desires to lead somebody astray, it does not mean that desire took root first and then everything followed. It means that before that desire was born, that person had committed certain mistakes, willful, intentional mistakes, and he deserved to be led astray or to be declared astray. So here the desire is to be understood in this context.
This is where I don't understand that. You see, that first idea which comes in my mind about doing good deed or bad deed is not my own idea. It comes from somewhere to me. Now,
all right.
Now, you see, who is the deciding factor here?
You. You know, when you feel hungry and you are given options to eat this or that, if something is not wholesome for you, you have developed the option would remain yours, although the idea, as you put it, in this case food, has come from somewhere else. And both the types of food are available to you, one less palatable to your taste, the other more palatable. Yet the less palatable is less dangerous and the more palatable is more dangerous in this case, which I am posing to you. So your decision would rest with you yourself. That decision will not come from outside. So if you choose sometimes the policy which is dictated by Iqbal in the verse, बेहतर है दिल के सपास रहे पासबान अक्ल, लेकिन कभी कभी इसे तन्हा भी छोड़िए. All right, the guardian of wisdom should remain close to one's heart. But occasionally, please leave the heart alone. So in that case, sometimes you decide to opt for the food which is more palatable and unfortunately also injurious to you. To whom will rest the decision? With you. Who will be responsible for that decision? Not God, who is the ultimate power of creation of everything. But the immediate decision will be taken by you, so you will be responsible. So then when you fall ill, then the word Yasha would come into operation. Allah has so decided, that is the law of nature, the law of God has gone into operation. He has so decided about Rashid because he misbehaved previously. He misjudged certain things.
Coming back to the second part which I was mentioning, sir, about these four ladies.
You're still to go back to that part.
About Surat Tahrim. How would you explain the incident in these places? I mean, two ladies are pious and two are not, and yet they are...
What relationship has it with that? This is a question being discussed. Why do you call it part 2?
Yeshao means, maybe Yeshao is linked with these.
Yeshao? It has nothing to do with that.
Yeshao. I was thinking of that.
So what? By you're thinking of Yeshao, how could the subject could be related to the question of four ladies?
So, how much of the effort by the individual, as I asked you before, is involved in this?
The same is my answer as I answered before. Why should I repeat the same answer over again if you insist on repeating the same questions?
Sorry,
please. Yes.
It's mentioned in the Islamic philosophy of Islam that the food, diet has an effect on the body and the soul and on the character of man. For instance, just a moment, those Hindu ladies who never take meat, they are very, very ill and pale and very sickly. Those people who take meat, they are stronger. On the other hand, this pork, which is very ugly looking, and it has some effect on the character. I used to tell in Spain that these people have a bad character because in the evening time, they all over, the ladies go out, they take half their clothes, they are naked, half naked, they feel very hot, and there's a bad character, and they accepted it. And also, one thing more, that the pork eaters, if God had made them ugly...
What is it?
The pork eaters.
Pork eaters.
Pork
yes,
eaters
right, yes.
is very ugly animal, and if God had made these people, pork eating people, ugly, they would at once give it up. But they are not, they are just like us. There is no difference between us and those people who...
Now if you take the shape of those things which you eat, well, Allah bless you. Please sit down. Yes, please.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
From Garden.
Could you lift this, Idris, to your own height?
Hazrat, I've got a question. If you, I would be grateful to guide me along.
Please.
The Hadith Qudsi, Lawlaka lima khalaqtul aflaq.
Lawlaka lama khalaqtul aflaq.
Lama khalaqtul aflaq. This is self-explanatory as far as the position of Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam is concerned. What I was thinking to connect this question with the theory of evolution, now some of the scientists reluctantly have come to the conclusion that the man evolved as a separate entity. So does this Hadith Qudsi throw some light on that?
On the general question of creation, it does. I have explained it many times before that every designer has a final purpose, ultimate purpose in mind. Every sane designer, I mean. If you are sketching things like a child who doesn't understand what he's doing, that's a different question altogether. But anyone who is sane, he will have a picture in his mind first, then he will design, and then he will implement, if he has power to do so, that design. In case of creation, it's absolutely meaningless and stupid to believe that God started creation at random and without an ultimate object in his scheme of things. This tradition, Hadith Qudsi as it is called, solves that question for us. Mankind as such was to be created at the summit of life, but not the entire mankind as such. Many among them, majority among them would go astray, would not serve the purpose of their creation, but